Hey guys, how y'all doing? I'm here to give you guys a recap on the new episode of Sword Art Online Alicization on episode 8. Now, this episode here looks really simple, a little predictable here and there in a certain sense of how the system works of where Kirito is at currently in the underworld. So, if anything else, let's just get this started. We have to it that Kirito takes his punishment to have a duel with Volo, or however you want to pronounce his name whatsoever. And apparently, we see to it that Volo ends up using some kind of technique that has been passed down in generations, possibly in his family, in terms of swordsmanship techniques. Of course, Kirito was managed to actually block it, but was getting overpowered. But remembering his friends and etc. and his goal of what he has to do, especially his giant harem group, obviously, was able to allow him to overpower the guy, and later on, before they could land a decisive blow on each other, the match concludes in a draw due to the fact of the teacher having to stop. And of course, Volo says, "Oh, we have no choice but to obey the ruling of hers," which Kirito asks, "Why is that?" Because she won the Four Empire Unification Tournament 4 years ago, and she came out on top. So your punishment is concluded, so I'm going to tell you this, Don't let dirt go on anyone's splatter face again, okay? And Lina was actually concerned about Kirito, but was very happy to see him actually overcome this, etc. And we see to it that they come into a celebration with Yu-Gi-Oh! And some other guy, which I don't really remember anymore. Don't remember the guy's name, but all I know is he actually was happy that Kirito won. And we see to it, of course, that Lina ends up explaining to Kirito that she had some doubts here and there because her family actually displeased the Empire one time, and they forbid them to use possibly the swordsmanship they had or something. Or she doesn't want to use that at all because of what's just happened. And when it came to Kirito wanting to take a walk out in the night, he ends up meeting two noblemen, which they were not meant to be liked, and they're just there to be disgusting characters, obviously. I mean, the moment we saw them, obviously they were never meant to be liked after what they did in last episode, and especially in this episode. They sarcastically congratulate Kirito for actually able to go into equal matches with Volo or something, and they end up giving him a present of what they did, and Kirito ends up looking at the pocket what they did, and it was a flower that he actually worked on. Eventually, he ends up looking at the garden he tried to make the flowers on because Lina loved those flowers, and he wanted to give it to her for her graduation. But those two noblemen whatsoever ends up having to ruin it. I don't know why or something. It may be out of jealousy or how disgusting how Kirito won. But eventually, we see to it that due to some kind of voice whatsoever that came out of nowhere, it encourages Kirito to try again and ask the flowers for help somehow. And later on, the flowers ends up glowing that was around the garden of his, and ask him, "Hey, can you offer me some of your life force to bring these flowers back to life?" And somehow, thanks to Kirito's imagination or something, which is some kind of thing that's been going on in this episode and possibly talked about in last week's episode, thanks to that and a little small imagination, or I don't know what the hell it's called, somehow the flowers ends up having to be healed back to full strength, and they will bloom by next day. And we see Lina Senpai going up against Volo against his mighty technique, and eventually manages to break his sword and able to put it to a point that she won. So it looks like to me she got over her doubts after seeing Kirito fight and was able to use her own willpower or imagination to overpower Volo whatsoever. And later on, Kirito gives her congratulations with the flowers that he wanted to give her that she loved very much. And later on, they all become happy. Yay! She graduates, and Kirito and Yuji move up a rank after they go up to their exam. As for two strange people that are tutelages, or should I say senpais or mentors to two girls, which is Tease, I believe, however you want to pronounce her name, with red hair, and the other one is Ronnie, which is brown hair, short stack or something. And of course, Kirito being his usual self, he acts like some kind of delinquent, but he's still hardworking, that kind of thing. But aside from that, after they let the two go, after they finish their cleaning duties, etc., we see to it that Yujiro and Kirito gotten this far and they're getting very close to their goal whatsoever. It's still far off because obviously whatever Alice is at, which is at the cathedral, obviously, which is already hinted at and given confirmation to, they still got a long way to go. But aside from that, yeah, pretty simple episode, pretty predictable somehow, involving willpower or possibly imagination that has been talked about last week's episode and today's episode. So I go like, okay, looks like somehow Kirito managed to put up a draw. And as for Lina Senpai, she managed to get over her doubts and somehow use her own imagination and willpower after confessing to Kirito, but after seeing him fight against Volo, she decides to go all out and shred her doubts and then somehow defeats Volo in her final exam, you know, that kind of thing. So I go like, oh yeah, pretty good, not too bad, although like pretty predictable. And imagination power, willpower involving in where Kirito is at, what the heck. And you know, Kirito and Yuju move up a rank. I think they're like 4 and 5 right now in respective order, if I remember correctly. I don't know if that is the case. And they get 2 little pupils that they get to teach, and that's red-haired Tease and the other girl, Ronnie, short stack or something. Forgive me for saying that, and I should not be saying that to Ronnie. But yeah, I'm just messed up a little bit here and there. Aside from that, nothing much really happened. Pretty simple episode, the way if you looked at it, or the way how I looked at it. So next episode is called Nobleman's Responsibilities. And when I'm thinking about Nobleman, if it's about those 2 guys again, which they were never meant to be liked, and they were meant to be disgusting, and karma come back to them pretty bad. That's what they are. They're eventually going to be thrown away, obviously, in terms of karma. But we'll have to see. So until then, I will see you guys in my next video. I'm Alpha Zero, people. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time, alright? Peace out. Bye-bye. Toot-toot-toot!